Welcome back to another episode of the Saber Team's Corner. This time I'm going to talk to you guys about a near death experience. Um, I called this one Jungle Antenna. All right, this one here happened when I was with a long range patrol team, and we was doing some work with the British long range patrol team, and my team was stuck on the ground, and the other teams were in the air, and they was picking up another team from that location. So I was on the radio. I had built a jungle antenna, and jungle antenna is this right here. It's basically an antenna that you can hang off a tree. They've been used since Vietnam era. It has an insulator on it. You tie it into a tree, and you configure it to the frequencies that you want, and it'll shoot through the trees up and pick up the signal out of the ionosphere. And it's a very good antenna, and I loved it. I can make these things in my sleep. Still probably can today. And that's what it looks like in real life. It's just a bunch of sticks and a bunch of wire and very good imagination. And thing is very good. So I took it and I hung it in the tree. And I was calling in 3 Hueys. And I can hear the Hueys come in. I told them I had contact with them. Come in, LZ. Somebody was on the LZ directing them in. They popped smoke. And I remained in the tree line because I had the radio. And I see in the distance, I can hear the helicopters. And it was hot that day. I was wearing just a T-shirt, LBE. LBE was wide open. I didn't have, I had my BDU blouse on, but it was completely unbuttoned. It was like 80, 90 degrees. And that's the reason why I was in the tree line. So I had my jacket, LBE jacket open, blouse open. Had my LBE on, it wasn't buttoned. I had my K-Pot on, Kevlar helmet. And I can see the first chopper coming in because I can hear it. And I can see it coming through the tree line. I can barely make it out because, the trees, it's pretty dense. And but the trees were, kind of dead, didn't have any leaves on them. And so you can see right through them. So it was so hot, I took my helmet off and threw it on the ground. I was like, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk, right? Yeah. Ain't nothing going to go wrong here. And so I saw the first helicopter. I saw the second helicopter come in. There was in a staggered formation. So it was one. There was another one. And they were coming in. He said he had me, and he said, I see the LZ. And he identified the smoke. He was coming in, and I said, cool. So by that time, I knew once he's identified the smoke, I can stop talking to him because the guy on the ground is going to start zeroing him in. And I looked up, looked at the first helicopter, looked at the second one, was getting ready to count to the third one, and everything went black. Okay? That's all I remember. Next thing you know, I hear the 2 guys standing over me. They say, is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? He's got to be dead. I opened my eyes. I was surprised. I was laying on the ground, flat on my back. Helicopters they were coming in for a landing. And I immediately jumped up. Only thing I remembered I needed to do was to get that antenna to that RTO that was on that team that was getting ready to fly out. And so I immediately jumped up, cut the damn jungle antenna down, rolled it up, snatched it away from the radio. We used Prick 77s back then. And ran out staggering to the helicopter. It was maybe about 50 yards. And staggered out to the helicopter, blouse open, no helmet on, LBE all hanging all off, and gave it to him and reached in. He was sitting in the helicopter. I reached in the helicopter and handed it to him. I said, here's your antenna. It's already pre-configured. Boom. And he looked at me dead in the eyes, and he grabbed it and he nodded, and I backed off and ran back away from the helicopter. And ran all the way back to where I was in the woods because I had a radio over there. So I get back over there, and the two guys that's over there, they start busting up laughing. They just was laughing so hard. They was like, "Oh my God, you look! We thought you was dead. It hit you. You went straight out, dude." So what we looked and figured out what had happened. That second helicopter that came in too low, and he clipped the trees with his skid. Luckily, the trees were dead trees. So when he clipped the tree, it was a broken, dead branch that came off, and it fell straight down. But luckily, the branch didn't come down like this. It came down flat like this, and the branch was about that big around. I'd say about four inches in diameter, but it was completely rotten, dead, and when it hit me directly on top of my head and broke in half like so. So it could, if it had came down like this at the point, it would have impaled me. I wouldn't be telling this story today. I'd have been gone that day. Been lights out, and so. I had a screaming headache from there after that. I knew I had a concussion, but I was just like, whatever. I definitely learned my lesson. I should have kept my helmet on. If I had my helmet on, it would have been less damage with that concussion I had because I was staggering. I was just like, oh, my God. It hit me with a force that completely knocked me out, knocked me on the ground. I never had anything knock me down like that. And but the funny part about it, the two guys, when they saw me go down, did not render any aid. They were just like looking at me like, he's a dead man. He's done. What can we do? They didn't see any blood. They didn't see anything. They didn't see a hole in my head. They didn't see me laid out. It didn't even try to help me, nothing. Just standing over me looking like, is he dead? I was pissed. Because, they at least could have helped me up. Something, they didn't even do anything. This is like, he's got to be dead, Them guys. They still talk about this story today every time I see them. They never let me forget that I got knocked out by that tree, So that was one near-death experience I had. And luckily I made it through that one. And did learn a lesson that I have a real hard head, and it's still hard today. All right. And with that, this video is brought to you by Saber Team Tactical. And I'll see you guys in the range. All right.